Hey, what's up? I'm JD or John.
And I'm Tim.
Yep, we're part of Terrible Games, and today we're just gonna do a deeper dive on our final proof copies. We're gonna do a playthrough here and walk you through setup, and we're gonna show you the battle books, and we're gonna walk through all the stuff behind us too in a couple different sections. But we wanted to do a little bit more of an in-depth look at token tears on both a mechanical and a artistic level, because you'll get a better look at some of the components and the artwork and stuff like that.
So let's play our first game together with the official board game.
Dude, yes. I've only actually played one game. Me and Lucas played last week. Okay, so you'll see it's Token Tears is age 12 plus, but that's because there's a lot of rules about like safety and things like that. I think that probably like any kid who can read could probably get this game at least on a fundamental level and play it.
They can start playing.
I think a kid who can read autonomously without being coached, who can go through a quick little like young adult book or something like that, could probably understand this game.
It's like one of those easy to play, difficult to master types of things.
Yeah, maybe, and we've even in my I'm certainly the person who has played this game more than anybody on the planet.
On the planet,
and I can tell you that like I keep on finding new stuff.
Yeah,
all the time. I keep on being like, oh my gosh, like I never thought that would work like that. Okay, so and when we did the unboxing video, like we already kind of covered the comic book. This is all really just like lore to tell you about each of the factions and all the different stuff that they do, why they're enemies and things like that. And this has nothing to do with gameplay, so we're just gonna go ahead and breeze by that. And also, like I really want like our backers to experience that like on a personal level for themselves. Then we have our rule booklet here. So we
make this just a little bit wider.
Sure.
Okay.
So we are actually going to go ahead and copy the figure 1 example of a completed board ready for battle quick setup, and also just walk you guys through how to actually do the drafting portion and all of the setup of the game, which doesn't take very long. But we're going to do elves and soldiers versus goblins and wyverns.
Okay.
Tim, you can pick which army you would like. Well, actually, I guess should we just draft? Should we draft to show the drafting process?
But we should end up with this product.
We should end up with that product.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. All right.
Yeah, so we'll copy this board layout so that people can kind of see how this whole thing works.
Okay.
Alrighty, so I've started storing everything, all of the non-token tears in one of the cemetery bags, as it all fits in the bottom here. Which is kind of nice. I'm thinking about talking to the manufacturer and asking them if they are willing to also do that. And we're going to forego using the Grudge and Tactics cards today, because this is for advanced play and it's part of a legacy feature. So as you unlock challenges in the game, you can get these different faction-specific pairings that give you a cool little rule that's only if you use 2 specific factions or if 2 factions are fighting each other.
And we haven't done that yet. We haven't unlocked them. So.
We didn't unlock. We didn't earn it.
We'll make progress on that today.
Now, you will get 2 rules at a glance cards here, which tell you the 5-step process for what you can do on your turn. And on the opposite side is the different commands and the basics of how to battle. But because we have all of the nifty stuff, we are going to be using the battle books, which is a sort of deluxified player interface that has a magnetic clasp here. And when you open it up, it shows you the 2 ways you can gain surge points, which are extra action points you can use throughout your turn. And it also shows the basics of melee combat, range combat, the different upgradable types of attacks you can do with those 2 attack types. And then if you open up, it has all of that rules at a glance stuff and a little acrylic cube that you can move across for your starting commands. And when you're out of starting commands, then you start using your surge points. There's a couple little things that need to get fixed on this, nothing major. But yeah, we're going to be using those. And the best part, obviously, I think, is the dice tray, because then you can make your evasion rolls. So we are going to set up the board over here.
Actually, are we going to use these since they kind of, once it opens up, it takes up a fair amount of space?
Yeah, it does take up some space. I mean, I really don't need them. I am going to keep the dice tray over here, though. Like, I think it's pretty much off camera, but at least for the overview. But, yeah, we don't have to use them. Okay, here is a surge point die for you and 1 for me. Okay, so at this stage in the game actually starts here. Now that we have the board set up and we have all of our factions available to be drafted, we are each going to roll the evasion die.
Oh, hard to beat a 6.
Bam!
All right.
I will go ahead and draft the goblins. Now, the thing to remember here is once I select a faction, Tim cannot have that faction. I can take as few as one goblin if I want, and that now takes that faction off the table for Tim. But I'll go ahead and draft 5 for a nice even split, and those will go into my cemetery bag.
Okay. Well, if you're taking goblins, I will take the great nemesis of them, the elves.
Yes, they have a very fiery feud as portrayed in the comic.
So I will also take 5.
Yep, and then I'm going to. You don't always have to do like a range and a melee faction, but for this example, that's what we're doing. Especially if it's your first game, it's probably best to take a range and a melee faction so you have a mixture of ways to attack. And I'm going to take these ranged wyverns and pop those into my cemetery bag.
So I guess I will end up going with soldiers.
Yeah,
Who could have seen that coming?
Yeah, the elves and soldiers are actually like really good if you know like how they work. Okay, so we are not taking any of these factions, but it should be noted that like if I wanted to splash in 2 or 3 swamplands into my build, or maybe a zombie or 2, I can do that. I can in fact take 4 different factions if Tim didn't select them, and there are 7 to choose from, so you can mix up your ranks and get into some really like crazy technical stuff if you want. But again, for this first game, we're just going to show you the basics and choose something that's fairly approachable and straightforward.
What should we use the?
We gotta. Okay, so now that we have our factions, we're going to deal out our faction ability, our token talent cards. And here you go. And you'll notice there's a couple things that were actually very recently updated. We put a range and melee symbol in the top right corner of the card. Each one has like a habitat that your reserve forces will sit in before they enter the battleground. And they each have 2 token talents that you can do each of them once per turn. And then on the back we have a little bit of artwork that.
Show that off.
Yeah, this is actually some of the earliest art that I did for the game before like a lot of stuff happened. This artwork has been kicking around for a while. But you have the name of the faction, what attack style they have, their rarity, which isn't very important now, but as we release other expansions, the rarity titling is going to matter a lot. And then also like the family of creatures they come from. So goblins are fiends. Wyverns are animals, soldiers are humans, and elves are fae. And again, this is stuff that is going to play into more of the expanded universe of Token Terrors as we release more factions. You also have a little bit of flavor text. So then we randomize our ranks and shake out 5 to start. All right, this extra goblin came out. These guys are going to be our starting ranks. They're going to be the first ones to enter the battleground. And then the remaining 5 will go into the reserve area of your token talent cards. These guys will enter the game later. Since I'm the first player, I'm going to place first, and we're going to follow this example. So I'm going to drop a wyvern right over here to begin the game, to begin placement. And we're going to alternate placing one token from our starting ranks to get the game started.
Okay.
And there's actually a little bit of back and forth here because you're sort of telegraphing like what your attack plan is, but you don't want to give away too much. So that's why I put this wyvern in this really weird spot to kind of throw Tim off.
Let's see.
Drop one there. Do our starting ranks make sense? Do we actually? Oh wow, that's crazy. We actually rolled out exactly what we needed.
We did.
That's wild. So these cemetery bags are now going to be where our dead guys go. And it's just good to have a differentiation there. We had run into some problems early in development where we were setting guys aside, and it got kind of confusing. Okay, so we're each going to set our surge point dice to 1. And because I have done everything first as the first player, I got to draft the first army, and I got to put my guys down first. Tim, as the second player, actually takes the first turn. At the beginning of each turn, you're going to select 1 unit. Different factions have the ability to move additional units at once. So like both the elves and soldiers have stuff that do group movement. Like elves work great in pairs because you can move 2 in the same turn if you use one of their token talents called teamwork. And soldiers have one called march where you can move 2 other soldiers up 2 spaces each. It's super helpful. My guys, not so much, but we're going to see how it goes.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to do a dash, so move. Mm-hmm. But I will not rest, because I'm worried about these wyverns.
Right. So moving 3 spaces in a row, if you move into a unique space each time, that is a dash, and that earns you a surge point, which you can spend during your. You can spend as many surge points as you want during your turn to do additional actions. So. Just to cover the threat mechanic, every token has a threat of 1, which is both their attack and defense score. But if they have another token from the same faction in an adjacent orthogonally aligned space, they get a +1 bonus to their threat. So these guys are both 2s, these guys are both 2s. This elf in the middle here is actually a 3, because he's got 2 L's on either side of him. But that doesn't strengthen this dude on the end. He's a 2. So I'm going to activate this wyvern here for my turn, and use my token talent Rush. The next time this wyvern battles his turn, it has a range of 3. Then I'm going to make this next attack a sure shot attack, and then battle your elf. Now, when I make something a sure shot, I have to spend an extra command to do it, but it decreases Tim's probability of evading down to, I think it's like 13.6% instead of a 50-50 shot, because he has to roll a 6 to avoid this attack.
So let's see a 6.
Close. Yeah, Tim rolled a 5, which means he misses, and everything always passively retaliates in token terrors, whether it's melee or range. But their retaliation range varies based on their attack style. Because I'm 3 spaces away instead of 2, the return damage does not hit.
The arrow misses; it lands right here.
Yep.
So
chalk 1 up. And that's the end of my turn. I am not going to rest either. I don't think, because you'll just move right up on me. So, do I want to spend my search point, though, and do anything? No. I'll be done. I'm finished.
Okay. All right, so, let's see. So I will activate this elf, and we will go move, move. And then I will use Teamwork, my lovely token talent here. We'll move up to 3 spaces, but that doesn't mean it has to be 3.
Correct.
So I'll go move, move. And now I'll have to spend these surge points to continue my turn, which I will do. So I'm going to spend 1 to enrage, and then I will spend my remaining surge
to battle. I fail that. And I also deal 2 damage back, which is not enough to kill you, because when you enrage, you increase the threat by 1 until the next time you attack.
Right, which was necessary.
Yep. All right, so we are both tied now. He just went through all 5. Tim skipped his refresh step because he didn't have anything that was in the resting or readied state. He activated an elf. He commanded it 3 times. He spent 2 surge points, which is the 3rd step. Are you going to rest your active elf to gain another surge?
Wyverns are dangerous. No, I can't rest him.
So you skip the rest, which is conditional. Now you get to reinforce. So 1 unit, because you have 4 units on the battleground, you can take 1 unit from your reserves and place it on any open edge space.
Yeah. If I were playing zombies, you might see somebody pop up on the other side of the board, but no, we're going to keep these soldiers together. And
that makes a ton of sense here.
There we go.
These are good formations for these guys.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to dash to here and earn a surge point. Then I'm going to take flight and move exactly 3 spaces. And then, oh my gosh. Yeah, and then I'm going to rest to earn another surge point and then reinforce.
Oh, if I had 1 surge point.
Ain't that the way?
Yep.
It's always if I had another surge point.
Indeed. All right, well, let's do a dash and rest.
Oh, okay. I'll hit my refresh step and wake up this wyvern. Then I will dash rest this goblin to go to 4 surge. Now, with movement, you can move through friendly units, but you cannot move through enemy units. So what I did is I just passed through my wyverns and came over here. I'm feeling like I'm relatively safe this far away. Tim would have to do something magical to actually target this goblin with a range attack. This guy, however, is very much under threat, but I'm pushing my luck a little bit to see what's going to happen. But in the meantime, I have banked 4 surge.
Indeed. Well, I'm going to activate this guy. And we're going to use Sharpshooter.
Yeah, right. I didn't even... How do I miss this?
And battle.
All right, you're not making it a sure shot?
Oh, let's make it a sure shot. Yeah.
Okay. So, Sharpshooter allows the elves, which is the only faction in Token Terrors to date, to fire diagonally exactly 2 spaces away. And I have to roll a 6. If I roll a 6, this is amazing. Oh.
Now, I actually should have refreshed this guy at the beginning of the
Yeah,
turn.
I mean that's a house rule thing. I will allow it because it doesn't make any difference.
But yeah.
The main thing that I've always found that can be kind of a snag if you forget to do is if you skip your reinforcement step.
Right.
That can be a bummer if you miss that step.
Yeah.
But other the fresh stuff, like it's not a big deal.
Yeah. You know what?
You're gonna rest.
I think it's gonna be okay.
I can hit him.
Not with 2.
Yeah, I can. I can enrage a wyvern, dude. I'm gonna refresh.
True, yeah.
I'm gonna refresh. Yeah, but see the trade-off. Honestly, the trade-off is that with wyverns I have no group movement, so I can't keep them clumped for a defensive strength. What I can do is send him out on his own and clip something off and snipe something.
Yeah.
Because I have a ton of movement. I got take flight, which lets me. It's 3 commands in one, which is great. But am I gonna have enough surge to actually bring my wyvern back to safety? Is the question.
But they have amazing range attacks. So.
Yeah, they're really good at picking guys off, but they're not super great at staying together.
Yeah.
What do I want to do here? I'm gonna dash to here, and then rest. So I now have 6 surge, and then I'll hit my reinforcement step, and pass the turn.
Okay. Let's refresh. Going to select this soldier and go move.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's do a march.
Yep.
Okay. And now I will spend 1 in battle.
Here,
Yeah. With my 3.
I deal 2 back.
And spend the remaining 2 to blindside.
Yeah, that idea backfired.
Pass turn. I have no surge.
Right. Okay. I will activate rush, sure shot battle.
Nope.
Then I will stay fresh and reinforce. Ugh, this is a drag. My goblins have done nothing already. I hate it. I'm not happy.
Dash rest. You have 6 surge points.
Yeah, and it's
that's-
about to sting right
It
now.
is. It is. Oh man.
Okay, I'm going to dash. I don't get the surge because I'm maxed. Then I'll use 1 surge point to move to here and go to 5. Then I will. Does that make sense?
I mean, you could take them both out.
Well, I can blindside, and then I won't actually be able to kill this guy unless I do something else. So let me think here. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Goblin token talent Insight and go down to 4 surge. I now get +1 for each surrounding enemy, which gives me a +2. So this guy's a 3. Then I will -2 to blindside that soldier. Then I will spend the other 2 to blindside that elf. And then I will stay fresh and pass my turn. So yeah, that wasn't too bad. But if I fail the evasion roll, then I think you're still winning. But yeah, your turn. Interesting though, for this turn you don't have any buddies.
I have like nothing to work
You
with.
have no
until the
buddies.
end of the
Yeah,
turn.
but you can just okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So in this case, this is like a pretty easy.
Yeah.
You actually have a couple different options. Like this is a sure thing because you can just go move blindside done, or you can go sure shot battle finished. Up to you. But yeah, this is an easy kill no matter how you cut it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what we'll do is move blindside. Okay, and I just don't like being over there, but okay. Well, let's do some reinforcement.
That's a big reinforcement turn right there.
Yeah, well, I don't have much of anything out there right now.
Yeah, and the other thing that like a lot of people don't realize at first blush with this game is that like getting swept for a turn sucks. Like losing 2 or 3 guys in a single turn from your opponent sucks. However, because we have it sort of plays as a catch-up mechanic where because you can enter on any edge space, you're also giving them a huge field advantage on placement because they're just going to drop 3 units down
Right.
on any edge, which depending on the situation can be devastating on the following turns. Okay, so I have 0 surge again. This is the way. I'm going to activate this Wyvern and do Take Flight to do 3 move commands in a row, activate Rush, and then battle that soldier. Come on.
All right, let's see. We haven't had any evasions yet.
That's true. Evasions are rare,
Yeah.
especially with Sure Shot. With
Yeah.
Sure Shot on the table, it's rare. But man, it is a bummer when you keep on trying to land range and the other guy just keeps evading. Like,
Yeah.
Usually I found that a lot of times if you hit more than 1 evasion successfully, because you set yourself up, especially if it's a melee unit, you set yourself up for just an answer back where you take out at least 1 guy on your next turn because you have you set up your position for the answer.
Yeah.
2 surge. I have to stay fresh. I hate it, but I have to.
Stay fresh.
Oh, but I do get to reinforce.
You do. Oh, okay. Now that's getting to be a problem.
There. Brick of Death. This is my.
Yeah, we got to break that up. Let's get that move. And we'll do teamwork.
Yep.
Okay, and now sharpshooter.
And just a quick clarification on Sharpshooter. The actual wording is the next time this elf battles. So you spend the command to make it so the next battle command is augmented slightly. And in this case, it's to fire diagonally 2 spaces away. A lot of the wording in here is like the goblins are the same thing. The next time this goblin battles his turn, it gets +1 threat for each surrounding enemy. So we had a little bit of confusion early on where people were like, when I do this, I also get an attack command bundled with it.
It's separate.
Yeah, it's separate. You're just changing the next time you battle.
Yeah. So then we got to spend 1 to enrage and then 1 to battle. Boom. Come on. We got it. Yes.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do what I call a square dance, where I just travel 3 spaces and rest, super surge, and bank 2 surge points. And I will pass my turn. Probably a mistake, but let's see. Because you can just repeat your last turn, basically.
You know what else was a mistake? Was not reinforcing at the end of my last turn.
Whoops, we talked about that.
We talked about that. There's no going back on it now. So
I was thinking about adding something in the rule booklet where it's like, if your opponent... people can just house rule it. What I usually do in house rule is if you forget to reinforce, at the beginning of your next turn, you can place it into the first starting row on your side. You forfeit the ability to place it on any edge space, and you can just place it on that back row if you want to drop it like that, or you can wait till the end of this turn.
right.
I don't think that we need that edge case in the rule booklet, but for home rules, that's what I usually do.
Yeah,
It's the same thing with like, in Magic, when you mulligan, you're supposed to draw 6 cards the next time instead of 7. I always, my play group, we always just draw another 7.
Right. More fun that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, then let's. Yeah. So we're gonna go. Move. Oh no, actually. But all right, we'll just go this way then. Move. Sharpshooter. Battle.
Come on. Why?
That was the opportunity right there.
I know. I needed that one too. Yikes.
I hope that's a good call. I just want you to be worried.
I mean, I am because you're covering so much. The thing with the elves, especially when they're bundled together, when they have a lot of threat bonuses. But right now, you can hit here,
as well as every space in between.
Yeah, this entire line here going up to here, which is crazy. Not this one though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, with elves, control the middle of the board.
Yeah.
Like, if you can get to the middle and have a little squad, like, and if you can get 3 elves right here, Game over.
Right.
It's done.
That's Lucas's move. Right
Yeah,
there.
that is Lucas's move. All right, I'm gonna refresh this goblin.
Okay.
He's gonna save me. That goblin is gonna be my saving grace. Yep. I'm gonna activate here and go move, then rush for my third command and battle. I want to save that last surge point. So you get your precious evasion.
Yeah.
So on an evasion, you have to move out of harm's way, which is these 3 spaces, and Tim can move up to 3 spaces if he wants. It doesn't have to be 3, but it can move up to 3. So you're just gonna sidestep. Wyvern flies at you, claws, just whiffs it. I'm not gonna rest because you have too much range in my face, so I will pass the turn, regrettably. I'm already in that mental state in the game where I'm like, which was the turn when I lost, when I when I made the mistake where I couldn't come back.
It's not necessarily over yet.
No, it's absolutely not. I always assure people of that. Like, it
Yeah.
seems like never assume that you're gonna lose with this game, especially because like anything can turn around.
Okay. All right. So, but I don't have any surge points. So,
And speaking of surge, I'm a big fan that we have our proprietary D7.
look at these.
Yeah, our D6, our 7-sided D6. Not really,
Yeah.
but you have the ability to have a 0 value on here by flipping the dice upside down.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do a dash rest.
Yep.
Build for something bigger.
Yep. Activate, rush, sure shot, battle. Bam. Staying fresh. Pass turn.
Okay. All right then. Activate this guy. Go move, and then sharpshooter, and spend 1. No, let's. Yeah, that's fine. I'll just spend 1.
Okay,
Battle.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh!
Would have gone either way.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So what am I going to do with that evasion, though? Harm's way is these 2 spaces, so I'm just going to go right here.
Okay.
You still have a surge point, though, so let me rethink that one
Could battle
moment.
one more time.
You could. You absolutely could. You
Yeah.
could kamikaze attack me.
Right.
And if I fail the evasion, we both die. Mm-hmm. I don't want that, because I have 1 less guy than you.
Right. It would be advantageous for me.
I do need to set up, though. I'm going to evade to here.
Oh, I can't do much with that. I am not going to rest, so I will pass turn.
All right. I'm going to take flight. Whoosh. Moving exactly 3 spaces. Then I will enrage battle. Damn! That's going to be the game right there, probably. Yeah, I'll stay fresh.
Okay.
Your turn. That backfired so bad. I should have spent that thing. I should have made it a sure shot.
What I'll do is move,
Blindside.
blindside.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, and then I'll pass turn.
Pass turn.
Okay, so we'll go move, and march. Pass turn. Oh man, but not having any surge points is. It hurts a little bit.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, it depends on how decisively you want to win. Shit.
March.
So that's all 3 of your commands, though, right?
Yeah.
Turn
Pass
over.
turn.
Okay. Move. Activate in sight. Gets a +2 for all surrounding
he
enemies.
does.
Then I will. So it's move in sight. Then I'll blindside here with a. Actually, no. I'll do a regular attack here because this guy's going to return damage, but I have a 3, so he deals 2 back, and I survived that. So that was move in sight. And then battle. So that's all 3 of my starting commands. Then I'll blindside that soldier for 2 and go down to 1 surge. And then I will sit. We are tied.
We are
Ha-ha.
tied. All right. Gonna activate this guy. Move. Sharpshooter. Battle. Oh, yes.
Yeah. And then
I will pass turn.
move, rush, sharpshooter, battle.
Let's see that 6. That is not a 6.
And And I can't do anything, so I pass turn. I'll stay fresh.
Dash rest.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. There's nothing else I can really do, so. Okay. We're gonna dash rest one more time, and then I think I've got
You're
it.
gonna go after me. Yeah, I should have done a dash rest. I thought you were gonna go after me on this turn. If I had one more surge, boy.
That rest.
I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and pass.
Okay.
You got the. You have the.
So we're gonna
points.
dash.
Yeah. So you got 5.
Yes, and then sure shot, sharpshooter,
Battle.
and battle.
If I roll a 6, this will be the decider. Let's go. Nope. GG.
Good game.
Good game, man. So there you go. That is a game of token terrors. Now they don't always end the same way. I really did think that Tim was going to win by like a 3 token margin. To be honest,
I could have played it that way.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you had done the L's before that goblin attack got popped off. But yeah, good game, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then while we're here, we can. So you've seen some of what these factions can do. And I just want to show, while we have all this stuff open, we'll just go ahead and touch on the other factions that we did not use. So, we have the zombies, which look like this. Whoops. Oh, thank you. And we have the flying machines. And the swamplings. So... These guys, I would say, the reason that we use the 4 factions that you've already seen as the example of play factions is because they're kind of like meat and potatoes. The factions, their abilities are pretty straightforward. I liken them, I sort of look at the goblins like the Ken of our game, the soldiers as the Ryu, etc., etc. They're very approachable. They're easy to sort of get your head around. These 3 factions are a little bit more technical, not in a prohibitive way, but you sort of need to acclimate yourself to their playstyle a little bit more before it's like easy to really like click with them. So with the zombies, they use the ready ability a lot or the ready key phrase a lot, because their main thing that I love to do with them is just go move, undead. And when you undead a zombie, if it gets destroyed by an enemy, instead of it going to your cemetery, you instead rest it. And anytime you rest a token, when the key phrase rest is used and you turn your unit around to face you, you immediately earn a surge point. So you're just kind of, there's no incentive for your opponent to kill it.
Yeah.
The other ability they have actually uses, and I'll move this up a little bit closer to the camera here, is you'll see that there's a little insignia next to the ability called Infect that has a number 3 inside of it. That means that you have to spend 3 commands to actually issue that ability, that token talent. And it reads, this zombie can battle friendly tokens. So you immediately can just break the rule of being able to attack your own stuff. And why would you want to do that? Well, maybe you only have 1 Swampland left. And 1 Swampland by himself is actually kind of powerful, but you want to get more zombies out. So keep putting that aside. You can attack friendlies, but until the end of this turn, so if you kill 3 things in a turn, this happens 3 times after you spent these 3 commands. If this zombie destroys any token, enemy or friendly, return 1 zombie from your cemetery to your reserves. This is huge because basically what you're doing is you're playing with a fuller deck. You're getting additional units. Tim only has 10 units. If I do Infect once, twice, I had an army of 12 units. That's a huge advantage. It's kind of difficult to pull off, but if you can get it to happen even 1 time in the game, it can mean the difference between win or loss. So the zombies are cool because the other thing is they can just be sacrificial lambs. You can move them out and have them kill something and be like, well, I'm just stocking my cemetery for later. And late game, I'll get a bunch of surge points and then I'll get some guys out with Infect. And they're one of my favorites to play. They're awesome. And they're a melee faction, of course. The Swamplands were our flash gift. So if we fund in the first 48 hours, we just included a 7th faction. We're going to do that ongoing. We're going to have a color variant of another sculpt from the same season. And this one is just a puke green, lime green variant of our Goblin sculpt. And these guys have Spear Skewer, which makes it so that until the end of the turn, you can elect to either attack with a melee attack or with range. So they have some cool attack versatility. Their other ability is uses a key phrase that isn't seen in any other factions, is a token trait, which means it's passive. You don't have to spend any command points or surge points to do it. You just, anytime a Swampland rests, if you have 0 surge, you gain 2 surge points. So these guys are awesome because they kind of play to this all or nothing mentality. They don't have any group movement, but they can attack with some versatility, which means they can kind of handle different situations really well. But you want to like dash out. If you start with like 3 surge, you can dash, land on 4, blindside something, activate Spear Skewer, attack something at range, and then if you end your turn with 0 surge points, if you rest at Swampland, you'll gain 2. So they also work really well for burning surge points with other factions and just leaving them off in a corner. And then when you run out of surge, you can just go like dash rest and earn extra stuff. The flying machines are awesome. And the way you want to play them is you want to draft 6 of them into your army. Because let's say you start with 3. Their first ability is another one of the token talents that costs multiple commands to issue. It costs 3, but what's great about it is you actually end up playing like you don't have to think about your turn really that much. You just spend 3 commands and immediately just take a flying machine from your reserves and place it in any adjacent space or any surrounding space to the flying machine you activated that turn. What's great about that is like if Tim is over here with these 2 Swamplands, and I'm thinking maybe a range attack is coming. I want to get my defenses up. I can do build and drop another guy right here, or I can drop him here, and now he's a protective layer that can do an evasion. I can then rest my active flying machine, and not only did I generate another unit onto the board, breaking the 5 token limit that you can have on the battlefield at once, I also gain a surge point because this guy is basically untouchable. And you just keep repeating that until, if you're able to get this to happen,
good luck. Good luck breaking that brick.
Yeah, this is a brick of 3s. Yeah. These guys here are actually 4s. These guys are 4s, and the guys on the outside are 3s. And this is where the flying machine's other ability comes into play. Swarm. Move this and all friendly flying machines 1 space each. Which,
I mean,
yeah.
Maybe a phalanx could break through that.
A phalanx could break through that, or like if you, that's part of the reason the evasion mechanic works the way that it does, is because even with a lowly Swampland or a Wyvern, for example, like I could just take the 50-50 shot and think, okay, well I might lose my Wyvern, but if I get the if I evade successfully with a flying machine, I have to move this guy out.
Yeah,
he's got to leave the formation. Otherwise, you have a situation where, if this is my active flying machine, I do swarm at the beginning of my turn. Everything moves up, and then I'm throwing 4 damage across the board. But again, like with the flying machines, and kind of to a lesser extent with the soldiers, the fewer of them there are, the less powerful they are. They're really kind of weak, especially when you break them up, or there's only like 2 of them out. They're just not they're not that effective. But if you can control like 4 or 6 at once, you can just swarm them around. They sort of have this puzzly aspect too, because as you're trying to keep your formation, you'll like figure out ways to use swarm in such a way that like you're still maintaining some sort of defensive strength. So cool.
Yeah.
I would love to talk spoilers about season 2. We're not here to do that right now.
So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, season 2 stuff is actually playable in our tabletop simulator mod. Yeah, we have a lot of really cool stuff planned, and we have a season 1.5 expansion coming up that'll sort of change the dynamic of these pre-existing factions, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.